Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So, oh man, I think I'm getting pretty close to the end here. So, we just gotta do these windows down here, and, you know, some miscellaneous other stuff. There's always miscellaneous other stuff. I'm just getting that last bit of polish onto things. 'Cause I know I kind of want to mess around with her face a little bit more, and I might want to mess around with some coloring on the clock here. I'm not sure if I like this lighter yellow, for example. There might just be some things, and snake scales, I still don't know if I like that. I kind of want to do some more experiments here, but I think for now, I would just like to finish off these windows. And so that's kind of my goal for today. We got windows here, and then making the space between the windows nice. I'm not quite sure how I want to do that yet. I feel like I say that a lot, but, you know, it's fine. I can figure it out. We can figure it out together. Anywho. So, when I started last time, or stopped last time rather, I had decisions to make. I'm just like, okay, do I want to show individual leaves? Or do I want to go with more bunches of leaves? It's hard to say. I did not quite come to a conclusion. Yesterday ended up being a little busy, and it left me with very minimal time to do things. And of course, you know, every morning I'm here just trying to cram out 1,500 words for NaNoWriMo. So sometimes I don't get to make all the decisions that I want to, but I think I am leaning more towards the individual leaves. Just, you know, not like this. This looks kind of ugly, but this kind of pattern. So I think I will do a few more experiments with that. I'm still kind of wondering. I think these leaves might be too small. So what I did, or at least what I would like to do right now, let me go ahead and clip this. I'm going to pick a green. The color doesn't really matter right now. I'll fix it later. Don't worry about it. And I am going to use the leaf brush again, but I'm going to make it bigger. I guess I'll keep the ones with the small leaves. The leaf brush will not be its final form, but it might help me get there, so I'm going to go ahead and start with it, and just see about keeping things simple. Do not mind a Krita spazzing. It does that sometimes. So I'm going to try making the leaves a little bit bigger here. We'll make it nice and full. And then, yeah, I kind of like this. And I don't really want to make it smaller. Break out the eraser form. Trying to use the eraser sparingly here because it does tend to look a little bit funny, but it's okay. I'll just be going back over it. I just wanted a few more gaps in there. Okay, and then in order to make this a little bit more to my liking, I'm going to pick another random color. We're going to break out the hot pink. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. So don't worry. And I'm just going to dot around here. Okay, this looks like it might be pain, but, you know, what else is new? That sounds very on brand for me, so let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this... I was gonna make it a lighter color like I did on Kronii, but then I realized for everything in the background, I've only been using darker colors. So let's try the darker color. So I have a new layer here. And I am just gonna trace over some of these leaves. And where I think they look bad, like, you know, like right here, for example, what is even going on there, I'm going to make it better. But this will give me a good place to start. And so I will just trace over some leaves and see what happens. That is why I brought out the hot pink. And so the whole point of doing it like this is for more individual leaves to be seen. So again, I'll probably be changing the shape a lot. Don't worry, I have a vision. There is something in my head here, and it makes sense to me now. It does. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my time here. I'm not worried about being overly neat here, but I don't know. I guess whenever I trace things like this, it just kind of ends up that way. For once, me trying to be neat, not a deliberate decision, feels weird, but what can you do? And I will just do some basic leaf tracing until I feel like I have enough to do a reasonable test. Unfortunately, I think in order to really understand if this works, I need a lot. So that's why it's taken me a sec here. I'm even going to make a second layer for some of these green ones. These ones will be a little bit more clustered and group-like. But I think I have enough variance in here that I can make some interesting looking trees. So let's see if I am right. And it's entirely possible that I'm going to be leaving the green ones a little bit more abstract. I guess I'll try that first because it'd be easier to draw. Let's start with the easy parts. Seems like a good idea. And if I don't like it, then I will try something else. So basically, all I'm really doing is using the leaf brush there as a stencil. I'm just kind of using it to give me some ideas of, you know, maybe where I would like some leafy shapes to be. I'm not using it as a replacement for proper coloring here. I think oftentimes you can. Krita's leaf brush is pretty okay, but I just don't think it works stylistically here, so I'm not going to do it. It's too opacity driven, and there's just some stuff there, right? Like this doesn't look like this. And I think if I mixed them, I would just be perpetually unsatisfied. And that's just such a terrible way to feel about your picture. So I won't. And you can see I'm not quite sure where I want this edge to be, so you know, that's okay. We'll have multiple layers of leaves or something. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what I'm going for here. I'll have to figure that out eventually. But for now, I just kind of want to get started and try some things. Okay, so I think that's probably a start. Let's see what things are looking like so far. Okay, that's about what I expected. Ooh. I'm gonna have to think about this one. But no, I think I like where I'm going with this. Like, look at all this random stuff there. That should look pretty okay once I clean it up, actually. Yeah, and the main thing that I think is making it look weird is that I just got rid of, like, literally all the greenery here. So, I mean, of course it looks a little strange. Like, what am I expecting? So let's draw some more leaves. Let's draw some more leaves. Yeah, I need more, but I kind of like where it's going, so I think I can believe. But I'm gonna have to have a lot more leaves before I can know for sure. So here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. Let's just try something and see what happens. Worst that happens is that I decide I don't really like it and I try a different pattern. So, you know, it's fine. All is well. All is well. It's okay, I think I realized recently that I think it's fine not to really have any idea what you're doing. I think a lot of people don't, but they like to pretend like they do. And some people are... There's a subset of people that are just very good actors. But I think that there's an even bigger subset of people that are just delusional. And I think that, you know, being a little bit delusional is maybe a little bit better for your mental health than I gave it credit for. But I could never be quite that kind of delusional. Sometimes you just gotta roll with things and make it happen. And I think I'm pretty okay. I think I'm pretty okay at that. So just kind of figure out a general direction and try it. Go from there. See what happens. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine. In the end, I'm not sure anybody really knows what they're doing. Some are just better at pretending than others. I think I'll just leave that part like that. Let's get some more leaves up here. I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do about the green parts, but I do know what I want to do about the pink parts, so I'll go ahead and start there. And when I look at this, this tells me that I'm probably going to need multiple different colors for leaves. And, I mean, saying it out loud, I feel kind of silly for having to say it because, you know, it's the stained glass tile. Of course it does. I use multiple different colors for everything, even when it doesn't make sense to. I mean, just look at her hair. Or, you know, just look at the sock. I mean, I have a normal shadow there, but all of this is a big gradient. I put a solid color change at the knee, even though the light probably hits this part of her leg more. Like, it doesn't have to make complete sense. It's fine. But it's okay, because, you know, saying it out loud anyway will kind of clarify it in my head, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, you know, that actually makes sense. Let's do it. Let's try it. And sometimes I'm a little slow at connecting those ideas, but I do it eventually. Then the world gets to make sense again, and it's fantastic. It is. It feels good. Just gotta get there. You know, cleaning this up is gonna be kind of hell, though. Oh well. It is what it is. Okay, well, let's see how things are going. I wish to do some science again. Yeah, this is definitely working. And then the green ones in the background will be larger clumps. And then these pink ones are going to be like more foreground. And they'll be a little bit more detailed and have a lot more color variance. I think that should look fantastic. I can see it in my eye now. So, there we go. I didn't really see it when I started stream today, which is why I was like, oh no, I didn't have time to go out and do some of the idea generation that I would normally do. So I was worried, but sometimes I think I might worry a little bit too much. Perhaps. Sometimes I just gotta believe. Alright, well, let's see. I've probably got a few dozen more leaves to draw here. Art is hard. But, almost there, I think. I hope I don't have to do it again. I will have to go through and clean this up, which I am admittedly not really looking forward to, but it'll look great when it's done, I think. I'm sure it'll be worth it, right? And I can look on the finished thing with satisfaction and be like, ah, yes, I did the thing. Good job, self. Now go draw more things. Feeling that today, actually. Is like, you know, like I said, in the morning, I'm, just pounding on my keyboard, typing words for National Novel Writing Month, and well, today I wrote a little more than 3,000, which is more than double my daily goal and more than I've written in a single day. Like, well, for this year ever, it's the most I've written this month so far in one day. But I just saw that I was really close to the 20,000 word mark, and I just wanted to get there. And I did. So now I am very slightly over 20,000 words. Some of that is because I decided to rewrite a bunch of stuff, but that's fine. But what I have is a lot better, so I'm glad that I went back and did it. It's honestly made writing the rest a lot easier. And so I'm hoping that with all this foundation that I've built for myself, that maybe I can actually understand plot better. That was kind of my goal here, because my writing experience up until now was, you know, via role-playing and like other forms of collaborative writing. So I've never really done it myself, and I just had such a time. Such a hard time figuring out how to wrangle the plot, but, you know, frankly, I think I'm starting to get a feel for it. I don't really know how to describe it. Writing is black magic, don't worry about it. Unless you want to be doing it yourself, I suppose. Then, you know, maybe you can worry about it, but I think I am starting to get to the point where maybe I can feel it a little bit. And I do think that the kind of role-playing that I did is helpful, since it's a little bit more writing adjacent than just like Dungeons & Dragons stuff. I did forum role-playing, which had a lot more emphasis on like actually writing words and stuff, less on acting. Which is weird because I always considered that the reason that I liked role-playing is because I liked acting, not because I liked writing. But basically what I'm saying is, prior to this one that I've been working on now for NaNoWriMo, I've actually gone through like 5 or 6 ideas. Like, ideas are really easy to get, but actually transforming them into something is really, really hard. It's really difficult, and I cannot. I don't think it's even possible to overstate just how freaking hard it is. I think that's why a lot of the people implementing things hate idea people so much. Because ideas are easy. But this one, I actually feel like I've been able to push forward, and now that I've gotten this far, I actually kind of wonder if I could go back and make some of my other ideas happen too. There's one in particular that I'm still very interested in writing. Some of them, I don't think that they really had very strong legs to stand on, but that other one I think did. I just, for whatever reason, just kept getting stuck, and I didn't know what to do. So I just would try something else. But the one that I'm working on now, it's working. And it's giving me ideas on how to make some of my other ideas work too. So I'm very glad that I decided to come and write it. Lately, I have been feeling like I'm just almost trapped in a cycle of just trying things and seeing what happens and trying to make something work. And I think it's been driving me a little bit insane, if I'm being honest. So it's kind of nice to actually have something that's just working really, really well. I'm excited to see where it all goes. This idea that I'm working on right now, kind of nursing here, is actually indeed based on a plot that I really wanted to do in one of my role plays, and it just didn't really pan out, and I was sad. So I do kind of hope that I get to see the end of that story. I think it'll be very cathartic. Just taking some of those things that I couldn't do on my own and just doing it. Actually making it happen. Alright. But enough about writing for now. Let's go back and do some more trees. Okay, I'm not quite sure how I want to handle the big bunches of leaves here. I'm just gonna have to make something up. Which, you know, kind of story of my life right now, so let's just do it. What's the worst that could happen? So I'm just gonna kind of follow some of these shapes that I made. And eventually kind of connect them together. Kind of like that. And I'll take out the eraser when appropriate. I think I want this group to follow these ones too. And these will kind of represent some holes in the leaves and stuff. And then I can actually, like, start picking out a color and we'll see what happens. I don't really know what to expect. But you know, it's not so bad being able to be surprised. Keeps life interesting. And sometimes I come back over to this side because this side is more covered by her shoes than this side. So they both have parts that are slightly more covered. Like here we have more snake because there's a snake head over here. So anything I do on the top I like to do over there and various things like that. And of course, you know, these shapes in here are just guidelines. So if I decide that I want to change the shape a little bit, I can. I can do whatever the heck I want. It's my picture. And it can't tell me what to do. Alright, I kind of want to see how it looks again. Okay. So it's still kind of nonsense. But you know, that's what I expected. From here, it's actually looking a little bit more clear. So that's interesting, actually. Anyway, I think I want to, like, bring in some color here. Sure, I'll go ahead and use this one. I just noticed I already had a layer called leaves, so I figured, you know what, let's use that one. Okay, how do I want to do this? I think I'm gonna start with just the ones in the back here. And kind of just start filling it in. I think I might want this layer behind the trees. I'm not actually sure if that's true. I'll start with it there. I'll start with it there. I think I need more trees or more leaves in front of the branches in order to make this look good. And it's fine if I'm a little bit messy. I'm not going full color by number here yet. I'm still kind of figuring out where things are going to go. But, I think I'll start with it back here. And then maybe I can add another messy group of leaves out in front. Or maybe the ones that I have up here will be sufficient. I'm not sure yet. Alright, we'll find out together. Let's see how it all works out. So these are going to be the panels for summer and fall. So I will be changing the leaf colors on fall. But that's fine. I can do that a bit later. When the time is right. I'm gonna have to figure out how this is actually all supposed to be colored, because here looks very confused. I'll just do it like this for now. And then these can be filled in a little. I don't know if that's right, but it feels okay, so I guess it's fine. And mostly, I want to make sure that I have most of it filled in here, because I want to be able to check to make sure that it feels okay. And that it doesn't feel just wrong. Or, I don't know, boring? I think boring is probably the worst thing it could be, honestly. Okay. I'd say today might just be an extra relaxing stream, but then I remember, no, I have like a million decisions to make, and that's never relaxing on my end. I hope it's relaxing for all of you, though. I do. Just sit down and enjoy some nice soft music and some nice pleasant art while I flail a little bit. And be like, oh no, art is hard. Because I do think that'll probably happen a little bit here. Because art is hard. God, what was I even doing down here? I think I, like, planned to have, like, multiple layers of leaves here or something. And, I didn't think it through. It's fine, I'm pretty sure I can make it work when I clean it up. I probably can. I mean, when it comes down to it, I basically always figure something out. You know, a thing or two. So it'll all be okay. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll fix a lot of this up when it comes time to actually, like, clean this and make the shapes a little bit more pleasant. But you know, for a start, I think that's actually pretty nice. And then I can shade it via gradients. Yeah, I can get behind that. And then I have these ones, which I will draw in front of the trees. So I'm going to pick a lighter green here. Going to move it a little bit more toward yellow and we'll brighten it up. I'll start with here for now. The color still doesn't really matter at the moment, so I just want to fill everything in. I'm even going to hide the trees. I'll hide the other lines too, just so I don't get confused. And I'll just focus on these more foreground leaves. Get them all colored in. And I'll see how it looks. The good news is that I really only have to draw this once, because once I have it drawn, I'll just copy it over to the spring panel. And once I have it drawn once, I can pretty easily change colors for a more fall-esque one over here. So I just gotta, just gotta get started. And then once I see it, I can see if it's pretty cool or not. And then I can worry about the rest of the decorations that I intend to represent the various seasons. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately there's a lot of leaves, so it's going to take a little while for me to clean that up and color it in. But I do think that this level of detail is probably necessary for it to look like stained glass. So I'll go ahead and make it like that. But you can still see that a lot of it is pretty abstract. Especially in the back there where things are a little further away, and I think that's also fine. But I don't think I could completely escape having some more detailed leaves if I wanted it to look like stained glass. So, like some stained glass that I saw is even more particular about the leaf shapes. And honestly, it looks pretty cool. I did consider doing it like that. But I don't know, it didn't quite suit the feeling that I was going for, so I decided to do it like this instead. I think that this has the kind of feeling that I want. I wanted something that felt a little bit more like time passing. What that means exactly, I couldn't actually tell you. I've been trying to work on actually being able to explain these things better, but I don't know, there's just some things that don't always make sense. But if you want some nice stained glass art to look at, you know, there's lots of people out there selling really interesting little things out on Etsy and stuff. So I can... So I have plenty of stuff that I can look at. And sometimes seeing it is just the first thing I need to be able to do. And I think some part of me also just wanted to make it look like that there were countless leaves, as opposed to a more symbolic representation of a tree. I mean, this is still pretty symbolic, but drawing each individual leaf would limit the amount of leaves that I could actually draw, because, you know, there's only so much space. And if I wanted them to be a reasonable size where they could actually be seen and recognized as leaves, indeed, the trees would look a little bit more barren, and I think it would make winter look a little bit less special with its bald tree. So I think that's probably the direction that my brain was going, but I'm actually not entirely sure this time. But when I saw it, this just felt right, so I decided to roll with it. Alright, just a few left here. And that'll be it for that, and I can turn my other layers back on. And get an idea of how things look. Yeah, I think it's getting there. And indeed, that does feel like more like countless leaves, rather than just a few. But I think I want a few more. Okay, I have some idea of what I want here. So I'm going to go put this layer back on for a second, and I'm going to pick a darker green than what I have here. I'm going to put it behind the trees again. And I'm going to add another section of leaf here. So these will just be some darker leaves. I'm trying to kind of pick out the darkest spots here, but that's a little hard to see. Okay, that makes it a little easier. And it doesn't really matter if they're the darkest spots or the lightest spots. Just whatever kind of shapes that I see in here, I think I can do something kind of interesting. I actually kind of, I believe. I do. I'm still going to draw in a second layer just because I'm still nervous. And I want to be able to make a different decision if I decide that this one's kind of mid. If I decide that I just don't like this one at all. That does happen sometimes. You know, it happens a lot. Just look at last stream and how long it took me to figure out a Kronii's big clock. I tried several patterns, and a lot of the time I was just like, I don't think that feels right. But I did find it eventually. And like I said, it doesn't really matter if I pick areas that are lighter or darker in this. The point is strictly just that I have some color variance. That's really all I'm trying to do here. Although, admittedly, I do stare at this and I'm just gonna be like, oh god, this is gonna be hell to clean up. I am still a little bit terrified. I am. But I think I'll be okay. I'll figure it out. I always do. Let's see, do I got any good shapes over here? I got a pretty good one right here. Okay. Let's see. I want to hide those for just a little bit. And then just find some nice little spots to kind of outline around here. Whatever I think looks nice. Whatever little decision that I want to make. And I think that this much might honestly be enough. Okay. Go hide those guys for a second, and I'm gonna fill in this layer with my slightly darker color. Just all of these little gaps that I decided to make. Oh yeah, and I should hide my leaf template here. So things are gonna look a little weird for a second, don't worry about it. I think I will turn on the green in the background here though. Oh, I didn't actually get a darker color. Whoops. Let's fix that. I can just hit Control U here. I'm going to be doing that a lot later, but for now, I just want a slightly different color. Gotta bring it more toward blue. And a bit darker here. There. Something like that. At this point, I got all my colors on. But only one set of lines. So I'll just casually fill them all in. You know, as I do. I think I actually want it just like this. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. And then I can just keep going until they are all filled in. And I'll try to be a little bit neater about some things when it, comes time to finish this. But for now, I think it's fine to be a little bit messy. Okay, so there's a little bit of color variance in the background now. And I think that helped a lot. So now I want a little bit more in the front. Some of that is just going to be that these leaves in the front are going to get colored differently. But I also think that I could kind of use a few more. So let's do that. Gonna hide the layers I just made to just make my life a little bit easier there. And I think I'll just use this layer again. Nah. I'll make another one for myself. And just trace. I think basically the big thing that I want when I look at this is I wanted a few more leaves in front of the branches. Right now the branches are just feeling a little bit bald to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a few more on there. And see how all that works out. So when I trace up here, I do something closer to individual leaves. Whereas, in the back, it was all very much just patterns. Big clumps of leaves. Big clumps of leaves working together. But these are a little bit more in the foreground, so I'm making them a little bit more noticeable. A little bit more individualized. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking this. And some of these leaves I think I want to be a little bit smaller. And I don't have to follow any of the patterns that I have drawn here. If I see a good spot where I decide, hey, I want a leaf there. As always, I can kind of do whatever I want. And, you know, what I've got here is just all... yeah, trying to find something nice in all this chaos. If I just know something to be true, then I can make it so. Let me see. I want to see how bald things look now. Okay, so where do I want more leaves? I think I want a few more up here. I think I want a few more here. And I think I'd like a few more down here. And I'll probably do those ones on this side, since her foot here covers a lot of the stained glass there. So let's see here. I will turn that back on. Let's get some of the ones down here. I'll just continue to draw a lot of large leaves. Some of these I see in the patterns on my leaf brush. That's the joy of having a somewhat randomized pattern like this. And some of them I think they'd look nice. So I'm kind of switching back and forth between them. And it doesn't really matter which is which, as long as it all looks good in the end. And nothing feels lonely or bald. Definitely don't want a balding tree here. The balding tree must be saved for winter, because that's part of what makes winter look special. And then I can put some snow on it. And it'll be even more special. Because there's not going to be snow in any of the other season windows. But I'm just taking my time. Going through each one. Kind of deciding where I want each of these to live. And trying to vary the size somewhat too. Because things can get a little samey if I'm not careful. Okay, how's that? I think that'll be pretty good for down here. I might want a few more out in front. Oh no, that should actually be pretty good. It's hard to tell since I'm using the same color as the tree itself. Okay. And then I think I do want a few more up here, which I will do on this side. Since the snake is in the way otherwise. Oh. I don't actually have my leaf pattern going all the way up there. No wonder I didn't draw any. Okay, I'm just gonna have to make it up here. That's alright, I can do that. Like I said, I think I'm getting the hang of drawing all this, so... let's just get some nice little leaves going up here. Some of them I can't see at all. That's fine. They'll be visible when the time comes, and I can refine them however I choose. Okay, and you can see here, I did something silly, because I couldn't see. I want to draw another couple of clusters of leaves. I think that'll look nice. Some of these look a little bit more like potatoes now, but, you know, that's okay. We can be a potato tree. Okay, where's all my layers here? Here we go. I'm just gonna fill in all the new leaves, and then I will start some color variation. For now, I kind of want to keep the color variation on new layers. Most of this will be merged when I'm all done. But right now, I'm kind of keeping everything highly separated so that this way I can change things easily. Because I don't know if I want to use these colors. I don't. So I would like to make it easy to change my mind as I see how things look. But I don't know. I'm liking this so far. And I get the feeling that some of the seasons might have slightly different colors going. Like, I might make summer just a little bit brighter than spring. So we'll have like a brighter green. And spring might be a little more hazy, a little more rainy. Probably draw some rain for spring. Then of course autumn is gonna have all the bright colored leaves, red and orange and yellow. Doesn't matter if the trees never have all three colors at once, this tree will. Probably. It's stained glass. It's a very abstract representation. So I can pretty safely do whatever I want. Winter will just have some nice snow. I'm debating how cute I want to make it, because I'm like, you know, do I put a snowman down for winter? Snowmen are, you know, quite adorable, and I'm not sure if it suits the atmosphere I'm going for with this. I mean, I did keep the little bow in the snake's head. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I wanted to say hair, but I was like, wait, the snake's bald. Snake does not have hair. But, no, I did still keep that, so I think it's okay to have some just, like, little cute elements here and there. But I don't know if it's what I want for the windows here. I don't. Okay. So that should do it for those leaves there. I did turn on my other layers, so let's get the lines back. How's that? For what it's supposed to be, I think this is good. Yeah. And right now the trees are kind of merging together, but I'm honestly not worried about it because I think autumn is going to be sufficiently different that it'll be okay. So next, I'm going to get the lines right. Copy the one over to spring. And then from there, I will start figuring out all the colors. Because I think the colors are going to make a really, really big difference here. Okay. So I think I'm on a good track. And yeah, those trees look so, you know, fluffy and full, despite me showing a lot of branches and stuff. So I think I can be happy with them. Yeah. None of them go, like, up to the top here. Which I think is also fine. I don't mind just leaving a little bit of space for what will probably be some blue sky. You know, let me see if I like the way that looks. So I had a plan to use the blue in Kronii's cape here. Just up at the top. Makes it look a little gloomy maybe, but I think it's okay. No, I think it looks better down at the bottom, actually. But I'm not sure if that's going to be relevant. So I'll do it later, after I kind of have everything else done. But yeah, there's probably going to be a gradient on that. I don't plan to leave it a completely solid color. It's also possible that I might divide it up with lines. I haven't decided. I think the lines might be a bit strong for that, though. So, as always, you know, I'll figure it out. Let's do what I know for now, which is the trees. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide a bunch of lines. I'll keep the leaves, though. I think that they make for a good indicator of what I'm trying to do. I will hide the front ones for now, though. So now I just want to go through and make all these lines actually look good. I think I want these ones in the back to be... My first thought was that they should be thicker because they're darker. But they are also further back. So maybe it makes more sense for them to be thinner. Actually, yeah, I like that. And then I can make the ones in front really, really thick. And the ones that kind of go on the dark areas here will be a little bit thicker than these ones. So, yeah, I think I like that. So let's go in and clean this up. I think rather than try to salvage this, I'm just gonna lighten them up a bit, change the color, and lower the opacity, and make a new layer with the correct color. And I should hide the trees. Well, no, I shouldn't hide the trees for these ones specifically. Okay, how thick do I want you to be? Like, I still want it to be pretty beefy. Let me compare it to Kronii, because it should be thinner than this. Maybe like this. Yeah. Okay, here goes nothing. Little thicker, I think. And then I'll just, you know, slowly go around. And I think I want to make certain parts a little leafier. But when I do, I will erase any kind of overlapping lines. Because this is supposed to be just more of an outline. Things are not supposed to get detailed here. I just want to give the impression that there are leaves here. Which means making things a little bit rough around the edges. And I'm not hesitating to change up any shapes that I want to. As long as I want. I'm just, you know, keeping the gist of everything that I did before. I think that this should look pretty nice once it's all said and done. I'm very excited to see it. Oh yeah, now I have to make sense of whatever this nonsense. Oh man, I remember coming across it when I was filling in the color and I just like, man, what was I even trying to do here? It's okay, I figured it out. Mostly. Sufficiently. Unfortunately, these windows are pretty small. So I don't think it'll take too long. Even with me, you know, changing my mind, period. It's all good. It was all drawn pretty messily, so it's, you know, kind of inevitable. It's all good. I'm just kind of making stuff up as I go. just making all the tiny decisions and getting things the way that I want. I think it'll be pretty fantastic when it's all said and done. But I do gotta do the reps here. Just gotta go through it all. And I kind of want to take my time on it because I am not used to drawing lines like this. But honestly, the more I draw the stained glass style, the more I'm like, yeah, maybe I can line art. If I ever decide I want to. You know, maybe I can. It's actually not so bad. I probably still won't. I like my process. I like the way my art looks. I really enjoy it. So I don't really feel the need to change. But it's always good to be able to do more things. There's nothing wrong with expanding my options, because I don't know, I do like playing around with stylistic choices. I do it a lot. I mean, you can see me doing it here, where I make something, you know, stained glass adjacent. And that's kind of the idea. Let me turn off my leaves here and make sure that I have everything filled in well. Because this is like an entire corner. I'll go ahead and just kind of smooth some things out here. Okay, I need to do something about that. If I want there to be a hole here, then there has to be a leaf here. And I will connect them. There. Now there's a hole there. Easy. But yeah, it was a little hard to see with the color on, so I'll just do this to kind of check things. But I actually think it looks pretty okay. And I am zoomed into 200%, so that's a good sign. I'll just get rid of all these lines where they're kind of crossing over in ways I don't enjoy. Like this one I kind of enjoy, so I'll let him live. But the ones over here, no, we do a slight bit of culling. It's all good. He'll thank me later. Okay. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I think I've got all the leaves. Let me make sure I didn't miss any. Where's my layer anyway? There he is. Let's see, did I miss any? Ah, I had a few holes over here. And I guess I had a little bit more over here, but that's dead now. Do I like it enough to save it? I think so, actually. Let's do it. You can see I'm going to have to erase a bunch of lines there. That's okay. I just wanted to get the gist of what I was drawing, and that made it easier for me to understand. Sometimes it really is just about making things a little bit easier to understand. And that's more important than getting it right the first time. I'll even add a little one there too. Okay, and then I just want to make sure that all the lines are connected. And that there aren't a bunch of extra things going on. And then I see I got a couple of little holes over here. I like them. So I will draw my lines. Make sure they're nice and leaf-shaped. And connect them. And I'll get the other one right here. Okay. So there we go. That's one corner. That is one corner done. Like I said, I'm taking it easy today. Let's see, I think I'll add just a few more kind of coming down over the branch there. I thought maybe it looked a little bit bald. And now I just get these ones. Gotta make sure that I get every single one. I don't want anyone to feel left out. That would just be sad. That would be pretty sad. I don't want anyone to feel sad. Okay. So let's see. Only got a little bit left here. This area is a little bit more full than that little corner down there. So I think it'll get easier from here. But I mean, I'm drawing a bunch of leaves. Like, it's gonna take me a second. I'm taking drawing a bunch of leaves, feeling super relaxed. So I'm kind of letting myself take my time. But it's okay, soon. Soon the leaves will all be done. Oh yeah, I should turn my other line layer back on. Just so I have an idea of what I initially had planned. I guess I don't really need it. Here is a little bit more straightforward than some of the other areas. But nonetheless, you know, it's nice to have a little bit of guidance here and there. Okay. Now I kind of want to go back over to this side. I draw it all here. Because this side has a little bit more stuff showing, whereas, you know, when I was doing the bottom part, Kronii's feet covered a lot of stuff. But here, it's the snake that covers a lot of stuff. So it makes more sense to do it over here, where the snake is a little bit smaller. Hello there, Blood Bullet. Welcome back. It's time to draw some trees. Okay, so let's see. Got two little spots up here now. So I'll go take care of all those. As always, just continuing to make nice little leaf shapes. Leaf shapes are very pleasant. Very pleasant to draw. Very easy. I don't think I want it to be that detailed. So I'm going to keep it a little simpler. Kind of attach it over here. But still let it stick out a little. Just add another little leaf shape right there. Make them just a little bit closer together. Okay, I think this is the final corner here. Now, if I was to draw a tree in pretty much any other style, I would do it a little bit differently. I would be much less specific with a lot of my shapes. But because this is stained glass, I kind of like to keep it like this. Alright. With a little bit more clear leaf shapes. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of fix up the lines here. And go from there. I want to try to get the line thickness pretty consistent too. So in places where they feel a little thin, I'm kind of thickening them up a little. Fortunately, I don't have any places where they feel really thick. So that's nice. I don't have to worry about making them thinner. I actually think I did pretty well at keeping them reasonably consistent. So that's nice too. That'll make my life of fixing up all the lines here a bit easier. Okay, and then as I go up, I want to be doing this on the other side, where there's less stuff covering things here. This way I can achieve that perfect symmetry. And then I just want to make sure that all these shapes are closed properly. Don't want anything floating around. Not quite what I'm going for here, so I would like to avoid that. Okay. Yeah, just a few more to go, and then I can do the dark one. I think I'll do all the lines before I start coloring everything in. It's kind of nice being able to get into color by number territory where I just don't have to worry about things anymore. So I will do that first. Being extra kind to the future self today. Okay, I need to get rid of the dark leaves too. There we go, because I could not see these lines properly, and they are indeed just a tad messy. Just a tad. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Very clear. Very smooth outline there, so I'm gonna go do the next one, which is gonna be the dark leaves. And I'll go ahead and leave those shapes on, just to give myself a little bit of an easier time. And much like I did with the last ones, I'm gonna go ahead and change the color of these, and just make a new layer. So this is the old one. I don't need this one anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and delete it. Lower the opacity of the ones that I'm gonna be tracing. Oh. No, those are real ones, never mind. I haven't made my new layer yet. Whoops. You know, that's pretty useful. Actually, making the layer that I want to draw on. Okay, so I apparently said that there was supposed to be a dark spot there or something, but I don't see any color there, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just draw it here. So these ones I want to be a little bit thicker than these lines, but still not as thick as this. That's my current plan. So just a little bit thicker than those guys. And I'll just make them somewhat leaf-shaped. You know, as I've been doing. And I'll go from there. That's a little too thick, I think. That's pretty good. And I'm not worried about following what I drew perfectly. It's fine. It's fine to change it up if it suits me. All is well. And let's see, I drew this on the previous layer, but you know what? I think I want it to be part of this shadow shape. So I'm actually going to thicken it up right there. Sounds good to me. Okay, it looks like I got all the ones on the bottom. So I'll draw all the ones on the top on this side. Okay, so I think that's about it for this one. I didn't have that many little shadow areas. So there's not that much to draw here. Okay, looks like I already got those ones. Cool. So now I just gotta get these ones. Looks like I got a little gap there. I'll keep it. And then right over here. I was pretty messy with my colors, but I wanted to keep a nice proof of concept first before I spent too much time on it because, you know, I wasn't sure if I was going to like this pattern. I wasn't. I was kind of guessing. But it worked out, so now I can make it all look nice. And I'll be able to fill in the colors nice and easily. Paint by numbers, not exactly hard. So, let's see. Looks like I wanted a dark spot here, but didn't color it properly, and I do think it looks pretty okay. So I'll go ahead and keep it. I want it to be a little pointier, more leaf shape. Then I'll just combine these. Okay. And much like before, I'm going to go ahead and hide my color layers just to get a good look at the lines that I drew here. I don't think I need this one anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and kill it now. And I think I will hide my old ones just so I can see which lines I have to worry about being kind of consistent here. And which ones that I'm actually making look nice. That might make certain parts a little hard to read, but I can deal with it. All is well. All is well. Okay, and I think most of these are looking pretty good. It looks like this guy got a little bit thin. But I do think that these lines are looking pretty great. I don't think there's a lot to fix. So there we go. That's 2 sets down. But the ones remaining are going to be the hard ones. So I'm a little scared. But it'll be okay. It always is. And once again, I do think I will just kind of trace over them, and these ones are going to be the thickest. And I think I'm actually going to merge these together. I like the way they look. But I don't think I'm going to try to salvage the lines there. I'm just going to make them a different color, lower the opacity, and draw them. And for this one, I have to hide the trees. Because otherwise, I will have a time. So let's see. Here, I think I want to get pretty close to this thickness. Maybe slightly thinner, but right about there. Little thicker. And I need to be very particular about each and every line now. Which is always, a bit scary for me. But I actually kind of feel like my hands are on point today. It's a nice change of pace. I feel like they've been doing a pretty good job. My dexterity dump stat is not coming to haunt me today. So you know what? I think I'm kind of on a roll today, because today I wrote like over 3,000 words for my comic script in National Novel Writing Month. And that was pretty awesome. Most of the time I struggled to write even half of that and reach my daily goal. But here I was able to do more than double it. It was largely just me trying to figure out some character motivations and stuff. And I do find those easier to write. But nonetheless, it was pretty nice. Today is a good day. I feel like my brain's been cooperating with me a little bit more than usual today. So I'll be sure to, use this burst of brain energy while it lasts. Go do some nice things tonight. Go do some nice things right now. Look at those leaves. I think they are looking fantastic. Looks like my line's got a little bit thick through there. But no, I think this should be okay. They're dark. They're not like the light lines on Kronii. So I think that Kronii will still stand out. Okay. Like one more little leaf here. And I think that'll do it for that. I always knew that this would be the scariest part, though, because the leaves in the back were all very, very abstract, whereas the ones here, well, I am drawing the individual leaves, so there's a lot of them. There are many, many leaves here. It is a bit intimidating. But I have faith that I'll be able to get through each and every one of them. Look how nice they look. Already makes it worth the effort. And you can see that when I was just kind of doodling around, my line width very inconsistent. But now I'm trying to bring everything together and keep them all about the same. I think that's necessary for it to feel more stained glass-like. As consistent as I can be. And I mean, if you've seen my streaming schedule, I'm pretty consistent. I don't like that one. Let's try again. I guess that one's fine. I like these leaves. There's a nice amount of just little clumps and individual leaves, and everything feels very leaf-like and interesting, so I'm not surprised that I liked this pattern. I just wish it wouldn't take so long to draw them all. Okay. I should lock transparency here. Let's see, how many leaves are here? Less than some other places. But still, many. And I'll even keep the ones that are kind of weird shaped, like this one. I think it's okay for some of these leaves to be a little bit strange looking. They can be whatever they want to be. There is no need for me to really go in and change them. They are wonderful just the way they are. Okay, so I think this is like almost the first corner done. Out of all that. I'm maybe a third of the way through. My hand is cramping a little. Okay, that's just the nature of the artistic process, right? That's just the nature of the artistic process. Art is hard. Sometimes it's hard in my hand, too. You know, I continue to be very glad that I only have to draw this once. And that I can just copy and paste it for everywhere else. That's the joy of drawing something that's going to be an artificial human construct. Like, if these were real trees, I probably wouldn't want them all to look the same like this. But they're not real trees. They're stained glass. So I actually explicitly want them all to look the same. Like, that is a design goal. They should all look the same. So, I only have to draw it once. And, you know, that makes going through some of the more tedious parts just a little bit easier. Just a little. But this is why I always feel like I go just a little bit crazy when it's time for rendering. Because, man, there's a lot to do. And my brain doesn't necessarily have anything that it really needs to be thinking about. Just, okay, I haven't drawn the thing there yet. Right there looks messy. Let's fix it. That's about it. So it just wanders all over the place. Right now it's wandering a lot to my comic, but I can't really talk about it right now. I don't want to. I'm not ready. I want to make a little bit more progress. I have actually thought about drawing some of the character designs for that on stream, but given that this is like the 4th or 5th idea that I've been going through, I want to make sure that I actually write this one before I actually start doing anything for it on stream. It'd be kind of awkward to, you know, do all this stuff and say, yeah, I'm gonna do something else now. Because I do like seeing the stuff that I do on stream reach completion. I just think it would be a shame to get started on something and not finish it. Okay. So while it's on my radar, I do want to make sure that I can wrangle this into something that I can actually, you know, do something with. Before I start drawing anything for it on stream. But believe it or not, that's actually why I decided to do National Novel Writing Month. I wanted to get it into a state where I could confirm, can I do this on stream or not? I really, really liked the idea. Alright, as I keep going further and further up here, I'm going to want to switch to the other side. Because on this side, there's less of Kronii's foot covering it. And on the upper part, there's less of the snake covering it. I am a little bit worried about copying this all the way over here, because I wasn't thinking about it when I first started designing this. But I'm like, oh no, there is neither snake nor foot covering things on that side. There might be some more visible stuff over there. Maybe I should have actually started over there. Oh, wouldn't that be unfortunate? Well, it's okay. Because, you know, if there is, I'll just draw it then. It's not really a problem. Okay, so now, yeah, now I'm getting up close to the snake's head. So I should go to the other side now, where there's less snake. Oh yeah, you can see over here, no foot, no snake. You know, maybe I did not think this through. Oh, well. It'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I feel like I was able to seamlessly connect this line. So yeah, you know, even if I had to draw a few more to get it there, it'll be okay. And then of course for the winter one on the other side, I don't need to draw any leaves at all, just some snow. Snow's pretty easy. You just draw those. But this is good. If I'm getting up to the point where I have to worry about the snake, then that means I'm almost done. I am almost free. And then I can finally decide some colors. I'm kind of looking forward to getting the colors for this one because, you know, they'll all be just a little bit different. I think that'll really make things look interesting here once I get there. You know, in true me fashion, since my brain doesn't have a lot to think about, It just keeps going to the future. What I'll be doing in 5 minutes, what I want to do tonight. Just because, you know, there's not that much to be thinking about right now. I'm just drawing a bunch of little leaves. And there's a lot of them. There's so many. They just keep coming, man. I know it'll end eventually. I'm almost there. There's not that many left to draw, but you know that they're still coming. Look at them. They won't leave me alone. Help. Well, there's another clump done at least. Just got like the one leaf here that's mostly covered by stuff. Yeah, there we go. Got a few small clumps here. Which is nice. They're nice and easy, and I get to feel accomplished for finishing an entire clump. Yay me. Okay, let's see. What order do I want to do this in? I guess I'll go do this one for now. And then I'll work my way back down there into the corner after. Sounds good to me. In the end, it doesn't really matter what order I do them in, as long as I get them all drawn. All of them. Every single one. Every single one. God, there are so many. There are so many. This is where I would ask my past self why I drew so many leaves, but I mean, I drew them all like... Well, I guess it's probably been like 30 minutes by this point, but, you know, not that long ago. This isn't like... When I drew sketches, and I'm like, man, me of like a week ago, why did you draw so many? It's like, no, I did it right now. I am a little bit more connected to this past self than maybe I would like to admit. They do look nice, though. It's true. It's true. Okay, and those I think I'll do after I do all the ones down here. So I'd like to go back down to this corner here. Get all these little leaves. Just living quietly down here in the corner. They don't want to bother anyone. They just want to live quietly down there in the corner. And that's okay. But they still have to get drawn. They have to get drawn just like everything else. Just like everything else. Okay. So there's another little clump finished. And I'm realizing now that, you know, with the way this is designed, I could totally make this a coloring book page. I'd probably have to go over a bunch of the lines on Kronii just because of how I put it together, but I don't know. Maybe I will release an uncolored version. Let people kind of do what they want with it. Okay, let's see. Just one little corner left. One little corner left. And then I am free from leaves. And then I can color them. And have an easy time. Since all these lines are just in place and all I have to do is color in the lines. I do think that they're all looking very nice though, so, you know, that's nice to see. So it can be a little bit sad when I draw something and then zoom out and take a look at it and I'm just like, oh, that actually looks kind of bad. I'm a little sad now. I don't think that'll happen here. I think they look quite nice. And you know that this bodes well for working on Malice Evermore on Wednesday. Because this is kind of what I'm going to have to do with her, too. In order to get the style that I want. So if I'm able to do this here, maybe I'll be able to do it well for her, too. And I'll just have a nice, easy time. I won't have to pull a bunch of shenanigans and erase a bunch of things and redraw a bunch of things and all that kind of stuff. Oh man, now I'm here thinking about Wednesday. It's okay, I think such things are inevitable while rendering because my mind wanders around a lot. There's just not much to think about, so it just wanders around, and all I really do when there's nothing in particular to talk about while rendering is just kind of vocalize whatever random thoughts come into my head, and apparently a lot of those are going to be about Wednesday now. Okay, just a few odds and ends here. And that'll be it. I hope. Okay. Alright, I think that's the last one. Phew! that was a lot of leaves. But there we go, I think I got them all. So I think I can remove this one now. And there. All the leaves are in. So I think there's probably some that might be overlapping a little. I'm probably going to have to deal with that. But I think the way I'm going to deal with that. So I have a bunch of excess layers that I don't need here anymore. Let's go find the ones that I don't need. I don't need this one. I don't need this one. I don't need this one. Okay, this is one that I do need, and I will move it up above those layers so that this way when I color with this green, it'll end up covering over the lines on the other layers. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my color by number and just color in the lines here. And I'll just do this one first. And then I can get the other two colors. But I think this will make the lines easier to read if I just color in all of these first. The trees, I think I would also like to add just a little bit of texture to them. I don't know what color I want them to be yet. That's why I was doing the leaves first. And I do think that I will completely finish the leaves before I go and do anything with the tree trunk. I want to know which areas of the tree will be covered up and which ones will not be before I waste my time just fully texturizing it. And then I also want to have colors picked for the leaves so that this way I can make sure that the color picked for the tree matches well. Since, you know, the colors in these stained glass windows are kind of deviating from the colors everywhere else. And honestly, I might still do some color balancing shenanigans on the rest of the picture, although I do think the top half is looking pretty okay. I'll have to think about it. But basically, I think it's worth doing a color pass for everything. Once I have everything pretty close to done. But first I need to make some trees. Then I need to put in some decorations. And then I need to draw some humans bowing at Kronii's feet, as you do. Normally I'd do the humans first, since they are in the foreground, you know, in front of all these trees that I'm drawing right now. But I just don't really know how I want them to look. So I'm getting everything around them first. And frankly, I don't think that they will be covering up large swaths of the tree here. I don't. They're going to be relatively small. Humans are puny in the face of Kronii. All right. So let's see here. Yeah, it's coloring in all the leaves I just drew, and you know, like I was saying when I was drawing them, there's a lot of them. There are so many. So much like before, you know, it's gonna take me a second to get them all. I'm sure I could do some stuff with like the flood fill techniques, but frankly, I've never been able to find any that I particularly enjoy. They always seem to leave a little bit of white space. And this was true when I was using Photoshop as well. If anything, it was worse in Photoshop. But, so that's why I don't. That's why I prefer just doing it manually. But who knows? Maybe the day will come when I can feel a little bit more comfortable. about doing a flood fill for this kind of thing rather than just drawing each leaf individually like this. It sounds nice, at least. It does. Let's see. See a few areas where I kind of colored outside the lines a little, so I'm gonna fix those up. But yeah, there's just a lot of leaves. There's so many leaves. That'd help. They are. Trees are nice. But there's just a lot. And I appear to have an extra line here. I guess this part's supposed to be colored in. Okay. And I just keep seeing places where there's like a stray pixel or two that I missed. But I really would like to have it properly colored in. Because then I can do whatever color change techniques I want and just not have to worry about anything ever again. I made these ones a little thin, didn't I? I should fix that. I should fix that. No problem. Easy fix indeed. Now they will match all the other leaves around them a little bit more thoroughly. And I can just go back to coloring things in. It's okay, I can just fix little mistakes like that as I see them. I can. It's not hard at all. Okay, and I think I'm about ready to switch to the other side. It's like I have this all mirrored. So as I start getting into areas that I know are covered up on the other side, I prefer just to come back over here and do that. This way I know that both sides are filled in properly, and when I go to move it over to the spring panel, I will have less stuff to redraw. So once I get this all filled in, I think I'll do that immediately, because each little window here, each little panel, is going to have its own color scheme. So I want to pick the colors individually. And I will probably start with either spring or autumn. I think summer is going to be the one that I do last regardless. Just because I want it to be green, but I want it to be like a little bit greener than the one in spring, I think. Or maybe not, no, greener is the wrong word. Brighter, yes. That's more what I mean. Just a brighter green. Whereas the one in spring might be a little bit of a rainier green. Let's see, I think this one, this little line here is a little thin. There we go. And then right here got a little thin too. That is perfect. I think that is perfect. Okay. So getting up into the corner there, so I'm almost free. And then I can do the other 2 layers. I laugh nervously. Otherwise I might cry. It's okay. I knew that... I knew that drawing some of the stained glass windows here would be a little bit hard. I think that's why I kept procrastinating on them. That, and I knew that the upper half of the picture, the big clock behind Kronii, was just more important. Why not? Crying feels good. It's healthy. And art is hard. Even when you like what you're making. And also because I keep drawing too many little things like leaves and flowers, I can't help myself. I haven't even started drawing the flowers yet. I am so screwed. I did intend to draw some flowers in the spring panel, and it is true. I have not yet started drawing any flowers. And I always overdo the flowers. Always. It's okay. It always looks nice at the end, which is why I keep doing it. I think this is looking quite nice too, so. It's like, don't worry. Even if I'm crying slightly, it's a good feeling. I think it looks fantastic. It's just what I think some people misunderstand about, you know, being able to do nice, meaningful things. Is that you don't have to avoid the pain. It just has to be worth it. Don't run away. You know, run right into it head first. Pump your head, it'll be fine. As long as it's worth it. But I think pretty much everything good in life has parts that are a little bit painful. And trying to avoid that is a mistake. Because, I mean, look at all these little leaves. Like, I'm not sure if you've gotten to see them with all the other tree layers on yet. In my rough version, where I was making sure that I liked this idea. But it does look really good with the rest of the trees. With the trunk and the branches and the rest of the leaves. It's wonderful. And that's what it takes to make something wonderful. Just a little bit of crying. A little bit of crying and a little bit of laughing. Alright, but I am in the final corner here. So soon, I'll be able to do the next layer of leaves, I guess. So that'll be the darkest ones. I think I'll do the darkest ones next. Just because I think I want that layer to be on top of the just normal back leaves lines. So that this way I can cover them up as needed. And then, yeah, it'll be the just last little bits. I just realized that it's been 2 hours. It really did not feel like 2 hours. I really was taking my time, wasn't I? It's okay, you know, I think I earned it today, because I wrote many a word for my comic script for NaNoWriMo, and... oh, I didn't realize that this part was covered here, but not here. I better fix that. Okay. Okay, I've got some more leaves to draw. Let's see. How do I want these leaves to be? Let's just clean some of this up. And I'll draw a big one right here. And I think that is sufficient there. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll just go ahead and color in on this side. And I'll leave it like that. I'm probably going to have to go back to the other side a little bit here. Because, yeah, the snake's head does cover some of this. But they are perfect mirrors of each other, so whatever I draw on one side will show up on the other. So when I go back and check over this real quick, I know that any changes that I need to make because one side was invisible will still be reflected onto the other. And thus, when I copy and paste it onto the spring window, it'll all be good. And I think before I go and start doing a bunch of the other little details for the seasons, that I do just want to finish off all of the tree stuff. So that'll also mean putting snow on the winter tree. But that'll be easy. Like I said, you just draw some bumpy spots, and suddenly you got snow. Alright, I think that all looks good. Time for the next layer of tree stuff. Let's see. That'll be you. So this is going to be front leaves. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, okay. I accidentally hit Control F somehow. That's fine. Okay. I just gotta name my layers. Because otherwise I'm gonna start having a bad time. I'll get lost in the sea of layer here. Okay. And then I'll just name them as they come. Alright. So just more color by number here, so nice and easy. Okay, I think I could just completely color in this corner. Man, my nose is getting all stuffy again. I wish it would stop that. Keeps happening. It's like my nose is totally fine, and then I start streaming, and suddenly it's not. Well, let's see. What did I plan to do for here? This must have been getting lost in the branches, yeah. Actually, I should probably turn the trees on then. Trees go above here. There we go. Ooh. I colored outside the lines a little bit more than I thought I did in a few of these places. I better fix that up. Man, I thought everything was looking pretty good there, and then suddenly I turned the tree on and... well, Krita disagrees. That's okay. I'll just go ahead and get it all looking nice, and then I can go back to my darker color. Okay, unfortunately, it looks like it's really only the places overlapping with the tree that looks off, so it's probably just some visual shenanigan with how I perceive color and that kind of thing. Okay. And I want to check it over on this side too. But it's important that it looks good with all the layers that I intend to use on. It'd be kind of a waste if it looked good on its own, you know, how I don't want to actually use it, but not good with how I actually intend for it to exist. That would just be deeply unfortunate, you know? Okay, and then I'll have to go back over it one more time after I finish the dark colors. But I will go ahead and finish those dark colors first. You know, one thing at a time is always. Trying to do more than one thing at a time will just yield bad results. Okay. And I'll be switching sides periodically, just to make sure that I fill in everything properly. But I really like this. I think this looks really good. I'm quite happy. And you know, I'm glad that it came in one of my early attempts and I didn't have to do that much science. That's always nice. It's a little bit less work. As fun as science can be. Okay, so that's all of those, it looks like. Yeah, it does look like I did color outside the lines quite a bit through here. That's a little bit terrifying. Oh, I missed one here. I better get that one. Wouldn't want any of these little leaves to feel left out. Okay. So for the lower part, I do think I will color it all in down here. Kronii's feet, not covering quite as much down here. But it does look like I have it all. And I think before I do any further leaf cleanup, I will go ahead and draw the rest of the leaves. Name my layers so I don't get lost. Or at least when I do get lost, it's easier to find what I'm looking for. I think getting lost is perhaps kind of inevitable for me. So one more layer, then clean up, and then I zoom out, and we can all see what it looks like with all of the layers on. And I am kind of looking forward to that. But I do feel like today was a very good day. Sometimes it's nice to take it easy. I don't feel like it should have taken me this long to draw the trees here. But, you know, I'm not terribly disappointed that it did. Today, I just took it easy, and it felt real good. Honestly, even though I was complaining... Look, I can't help it. It just happens. But I'd say today felt pretty good. One of those days that just reminds me, yes, I do really, really like drawing things. I think I will just always go slightly crazy when it's rendering time. I think it just comes with the territory. Oh, looks like I colored out of the lines quite a lot right there. What the heck happened there? Well, that's okay. That's what cleanup is for. And there's going to be a lot of cleanup, I can tell. But as always, I will not run from the cleanup. Cleanup is what makes things just look really polished and nice in the end. So it's important to do and important to do properly. All right. So I erased a little bit too much there. That's okay, I'll just put the color back. And suddenly all is well again. And there we go. Now I've got a little hole in my leaves here. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely want to go to the other side. But I think I'll just do everything on this side first. That's the order I feel like doing things in this time. And I think it's fine to do things in that order. Then I'll just check things over again on the other side and see how I feel about everything. Make sure that I fill in everything I see. And that all the lines are drawn properly on both sides. Because with the way her feet are, I might have missed a couple. I mean, we saw that I did miss a couple when I was going in to color the leaves. The front ones. So it's very possible that I missed more. I don't know. But I'll find out. I will find out. Alright, so just gotta fill in all of these little parts now, almost to the bottom here. And then I can work my way back up on the other side. This is the part that I think I changed the most when I was doing the lines. So I imagine that this is going to be the messiest area that I had to pay the most attention to when it comes to filling everything in. I actually think that might be a dark area that I didn't fill in properly, so I'm gonna get that as well. I think I'll do it right now, actually. Oh, it's not. Okay, never mind. Never mind. All is well. I'm surprised. It kind of looks like it should be. Maybe I'll make it one. I don't think it actually matters that much. It's a small corner. I don't think I'm going to worry about it, actually. I'm already kind of overdoing it, so... It's all good. But, you know, I kind of like overdoing things. my personality makes me a bit of a tryhard sometimes. So... I kind of like overdoing it a little. When it comes to art, I think it makes things look really nice. Even if people don't always notice. But I notice. I do. Okay. So I guess this time is going to be mostly structural tree stuff. And next time, well, we'll see if I have enough information to draw the humans that I want to draw, or if I want to do some more specifics on these stained glass windows here. Or maybe if I want to figure out what I want to do with the space between the windows. Because I do have some ideas for that, actually. But I suppose that will be something for future me to figure out. The me of Thursday. We'll see what I feel like doing. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I'll just fill in the rest of the stuff on this side, and then I'll go check things over on the other side. That way I know that I have everything filled in and looking good, and that I won't have missed anything. So that'll give me a chance to just check over, make sure that there's no glaring holes or anything, that I didn't miss any, like, lines or anything like that. And then I can go and just do the cleanup in the places that are kind of bleeding outside of my lines here. Okay, I see a little bit of bleeding right there, so let's fix that. Yep, really are down to the last few areas here. And then I get to draw some snow. But snow is easy and honestly kind of fun. I'll probably just make the snow the same color as her shirt, so I even have an easy time with picking colors. Because I was wondering for a long time what color I should make the leaves here, because there's no green on Kronii. And then I was just like, you know, I don't think I can make them blue. I don't think that'll work. So I'm gonna have to figure out coloration near the end. And who knows, maybe I should recolor the clock. I don't know, I don't think the gold looks that bad though. Choices are hard, okay? I do remember trying a whole bunch of colors back there, and I always settled back in on that gold. So it'll probably stay that way. That was back when I wasn't quite sure what to do with the clock, and I was like, what's the problem here? Is it a color problem? And, you know, it turns out I was right, just not the way I expected. I needed that big dark spot behind her head. Okay. Let's go check things on this side, and yeah, what do you know? I see some areas that must have been covered by Kronii's foot right away. Okay, that's exactly why I'm doing this. Checking both sides, getting things as accurate as possible for when I copy it over to the final panel. Well, the final panel that will actually get leaves. Winter's not going to get leaves. Winter's not going to get any leaves at all. I thought about drawing some falling leaves for autumn. I still might. But it's still going to have the same amount of leaves as everything else. I think it'll just look a little bit better if they look very, very similar. And I just use the colors as the big difference for autumn rather than relative tree baldness. Okay, so I'm going to do a very thorough scan here. Now that I've gotten a lot of the areas that I know for a fact are covered on the other one. But there we go. I don't feel like I'm missing any spots. So let's go ahead and just clean up areas that I see bleeding out. I will just get them as I see them. Just anything that is bleeding into another group. But I do want to keep these fairly clean. I think it loses a little bit of the stained glass aesthetic if I'm not clean. Like, I'm at 200%. I'm probably overdoing it again. It's fine. I'll always overdo it. It makes me happy. So I'll just check over each and every leaf, each dark area, and just make sure that everything is nice and separated, just the way I want it to be. But you know, so far so good. And there are some lines that are maybe slightly messy. Like, I noticed a couple, like, right here, for example, and here. But I don't actually think those warrant much fixing. Which may seem weird, considering that I am this fixated on making sure that all the colors are within their lines, but it makes sense in my head, okay? Don't worry about it. Okay, so there we go. Let's zoom out and take a look at the thing. And I do think that looks pretty good. It'll look really nice once the leaves on the other tree are all like autumn colored. I'm gonna hold off on any gradients for now, because I just want to kind of be able to copy everything over. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, this tree is facing the same direction as this one. So I will only grab this panel. And I will just copy and start pasting everything, I guess. I'll use the arrow keys just so I can trust the vertical orientation here. And I might have to draw a little bit extra in order to make this one look good. I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna kind of start getting everything over there. I'm not quite sure where all of these go. So I'm just gonna kind of make some guesses for now, but yeah, you can kind of see that it looks like this area might have gotten cut off. I don't know, actually. No, I think this goes over here, and it's this area that got cut off. Yeah, that actually makes more sense. They're both cut off by Kronii's feet there. So I'll do my best to kind of try to mirror things properly. But I don't see how else I do this other than a much copy and pasting and then slowly moving it over. But yeah, I think I might have to draw a few extra. I think I can still finish that today. But I think I'll do the snow first, just because that'll be easier, and I think I could use a little bit of a break from driving myself crazy with leaves. Okay, so the trees are fine. I already have the tree over there. Alright, and then we just get it over here. This one might be a little hard without any further landmarks, but I'll do my best. Let's see, so there's like a hole. It's like in the crook of one of the branches. Like right there. trying to get it close. I may not get it one-to-one exact. I think that's okay, but I do want to get it as close as possible. That seems right. And you know, if it's not, I can fix it later. I can always fix it later if I see a problem. Okay. Let's see, where does this line up? Right there, it looks like. Perfect. Okay. Now the big leaf group. This is why earlier I was like, you know, maybe I didn't think this through, considering how much of this spot is covered by Kronii's feet and the snake. I was just thinking in terms of, oh yeah, I want leaves on both of the two center ones, but I don't want a leaf on the right one. So I should draw the ones that they both have leaves. And I didn't consider that, you know, there's gonna be a bunch of empty space here that I was gonna have to fill in later. Little unfortunate, but it's okay. I can make it. So I guess I'm not free from leaves yet. So there might be a little bit more crying. It's okay. Like I said, crying feels good sometimes. Okay, and there we go. So, it looks a little funny. It looks a little funny. But, I'll fix it in a little bit. I want to draw some snow. And for this one, I can have a nice color picked out for me. I will just use the color on Kronii's shirt. There we go. And let's see, how do I want the snow to build up on this tree? I'm going to draw it in color first because that makes more sense to me. And we'll just draw some snow build up. It'll get stuck in the crook of the tree. Like this. And there'll be some that get stuck here too. I think most of the snow is going to fall off here, so there's only a tiny little bit on this branch. Same with this one, but there will be a little bit of buildup in here. And now this tree can just be very bald. I think most of the snow will kind of fall off through here. There'll be a little bit, but most of it's going to fall into that group there. Whereas much more will stay on this part. A little tiny bit down here too. I like drawing snow. Snow is great. Snow on trees is very nice looking. I probably could have just drawn a little bit of frost too, but you know, I like being a little bit dramatic. I think a little bit of exaggeration is necessary to convey what I wish to convey here. And then I don't think any will be over here. These are all too steep, but there will definitely be a little bit here. And in fact, this poor twig is probably, in normal circumstances, would have been bent really, really hard by all that snow. But I want the trees to look very similar, so I'm not going to do that. That little twig gets to have a slightly easier time than expected. Okay, there we go. And then I think there will be a little bit... running down the tree here. And the rest will just be kind of hanging out in the background once I go and draw it. I'll just have a few piles here and there, kind of giving a little bit more shape to this tree. And it'll be something like that. So it's not super noticeable yet, but I mean, as always, there will be lines, so that'll make it better. Or at least easier to see, I think is probably an accurate way to put it. Okay, so let's go ahead and line this, and then I can smooth it all out. I want the outside to be thick, and then I might draw some little patterns on the inside just for fun. Make it a little bit more stained glass-like. There's my nice wavy line. And I'll just do that for all of them. One by one, they will become visible. One by one, they will become finished. And one by one, I get closer to finishing this drawing. And you can see, I don't really feel the need to fully follow what I drew if I decide that I like a particular pattern better. Okay. I'm gonna draw some thin lines on the inside of just some extra shading and stuff that I think makes sense to me. And then eventually, I will put some additional colors there. And I do feel like I already have good colors picked for this in Kronii's clothes. So I will just use the same ones. And it'll be nice and easy, compared to everything else that I was doing today, with just a massive amount of leaves. This is exactly why I saved the snow for last. I knew it would be the easiest. The snow is pretty straightforward. Snow just kind of does what it wants. And I'll go ahead and... Oh no, I drew this on the wrong layer. Well, shoot. I better fix that right away, actually. I want them... Oh, I drew all the lines on the wrong layer. Life is hard. Okay. I'm gonna try to salvage it a little bit, because they're all a separate color. So I think I can get the thick lines at least. Well, don't I feel silly. Well, these things happen sometimes. It's okay. But yeah, I'll try to salvage some of it. I think I can salvage the thick lines mostly. So I'm gonna cut that to a new layer. And... Okay. Now I'm gonna hide the line and just get rid of everything extra here. I didn't really want to... Normally I would like grow the selection when I wanted to do something like this, but I was scared, so I didn't. But it's okay. I can fix it. And then I'll just go back over the entire thing with white again. And should be fine. I'll just have to redraw all the little things that I was putting inside. And in that case, I might go ahead and smooth out all the snow first, just so that I can draw these little lines inside in a more coherent way on the snow overlapping the base of the tree. Just right here. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes. I do that more often than I like to admit. It's unfortunate. But anyway, let's just color over everything. And I can get rid of all of this stuff going into here, and I will just make all the snow look nice for right now. So yeah, that'll be the next goal instead of doing the lines there. I was planning on doing the lines first, and then I was going to when I put the color on, I was gonna vary up the color with shadows and stuff, and that was my plan. But it's okay, I can do it in this order too, and I'll have the occasional little snowdrift going down. Just like this. And it'll be easy. It's okay, as long as I vary up the forms and kinda just like this is a little bit too uniform. But yeah, just little shapes like this. Just make it bumpy. It generally looks fine. Okay. Oh-huh. So that one got saved. Fascinating. I probably could have saved a little bit more if I adjusted the tolerance of my magic wand a little, but yeah, this is fine. This is totally fine. I can make it work. It's all good. No need to get caught up on trying to save what I drew here. It's fine. It would probably take me longer than just redrawing it because it's so easy to draw. So, there we go. Okay. Getting there. That's about half the snow here. Oh, you are not connected. I should fix that. Okay, so maybe I can't finish the leaves today, but that's okay. I can do the snow. And I'll finish off the leaves next time. I think Thursday will be an interesting day. That's when I think I wrangle the last bit of composition here. So that'll be an interesting day. Looking forward to it already. I like... Man, I honestly really like both of the things that I'm drawing on stream right now. It's hard to decide which one I like more. They're very different. But nonetheless, they both cover things that I am very interested in experimenting more with. Things that I would like to be able to do a little bit better than I do. It's like the one with Malice is just all about the drama, and that's always really fun with art. And this one is... I don't know, stained glass is cool. Like I said in the stream title today, I love stained glass. It's fantastic. It's the kind of thing that, looking at it, just always makes me happy. Alright, let's get some nice snow running down the base of the tree here. I want it to look like there's just little piles forming in various spots. And that it's all just based on where the tree roots kind of push it around a little bit. Just that kind of thing. And I'll even let it just casually go off the screen. There. So I think that looks pretty good. So I'll go back to my other color and do my lines. They got a little choppy via magic wand, but I think it's okay. So I'll just add some spots where I can add some shadows. And give things a little bit more personality. Just make it look a little bit more interesting. But you can see I'm keeping these lines pretty thin. I don't want these ones to be dramatic. These ones are quiet and unassuming. They're just to make things feel a little nicer. And I want to get them all in the exact right place. But some of them I'm keeping pretty straightforward. Just because, like, you know, they're small. They're just off in the corner, kind of doing their own thing, and I don't think they want to call too much attention to themselves. Some people are like that. I'm kind of like that too. Honestly, makes it a little hard to grow the channel sometimes. Okay, and then I'll just add some nice little patterns here. Just make it a little bit more stained glass-like. A lot of it is really just kind of impressions of what I think gives a nice impression of stained glass. It doesn't really matter how shadows actually fall on snow. None of that really matters here. It's not what I'm going for. It's good to know. Knowing probably helps me a little bit. But it's just not what I'm going for. Alright, and that should look pretty good. So let's go ahead and I'll grab some of the darker colors off of Kronii here. And I'll use those same colors down here. I have the layer locked, so I can just color in the lines. Now, once again, color by number. And I'll try to make it so that the colors don't touch each other, while I pay some attention to the light. Only some. Just like this one. This one's going to end up being dark, just because I don't want two light spots next to each other. So even though, you know, light probably still hits there pretty strongly, I'm still going to make it dark. It's more important that the light spots not touch. And then I'll put a little dark one here. And I'll leave the rest of them light. Oops, I missed one. Okay, I'll fill in the rest of these. And then I'll go add that. And then I think drawing all this snow will be the last thing that I do for today. You know, unless I just want to do one more thing, as I do sometimes. We'll see. But I am running out of time. I like the snow. I think it's nice. It actually does kind of make me happy. Look, it's not hard to make me happy. Just nice little things like drawing snow is enough. I kind of look forward to drawing the falling snow when the time comes. That'll be really nice. I have ways that I do that, and I look forward to showing it off. I don't think it'll be a surprise to people that have watched me often. You guys gotta know how I handle a bunch of random stuff. Doing random things. But nonetheless, I do enjoy showing the process here. It's a good time. Yeah, I think I do want to do it like this still. Alright, and then down here, the most complicated pattern of them all, just because there is a lot of snow. And then I'll go and fix the one that I accidentally skipped. I'm sorry for leaving you out, little guy. It was an accident, I swear. I always feel a little bit bad for the spots when I do stuff like that. It's like, I promise they're important too, it's just sometimes I get distracted. Hello there, Protox. Probably not going to be here for much longer, but I'm glad you were able to stop by. Let's see, I think I want a dark one here. Maybe my mid one here. I think I want you to be light. I think I'll actually leave both of those light, even though they're kind of touching. I think this looks okay. I kind of want to make it look like this part of the snow is wrapping around the tree a little bit. Alright, so let's see here. Just a couple more. Do a light one and then a dark one. Sounds good to me. Okay, now let's get the one that I accidentally skipped. I always feel so rude when I skip them. Okay, but there we go. All is well. He got his lines now. He got his lines. So all is well. Okay, and then I just get these little colors in here. And that'll do it. That is the snow. And yeah, I think that looks really nice. Very stained glass-esque. So I'm pleased with it. So fortunately, I wasn't quite able to fix this tree after I copied it over. But that is the kind of gist of what I'm going for here. So next time, I think I'll be finishing this tree. We'll make it all better. It'll be okay. And then it'll be just finding the colors for it. And then I can draw the rest of the things. And we'll see if I want to draw some little humans bowing at her feet first. I guess I can go ahead and turn on that layer for now. Because I kind of got it started, but right now it looks a little funny, but I guess I should start preparing for it. Where's the background humans? They're around here somewhere. I don't even know where I put them anymore. I should close this. There they are. Okay, but yeah, you know, it'll be something like that. And it is just gradually getting more and more complete. We got trees. Phew. Well, this has certainly been an adventure, but I've been having a really good time drawing this. I want to draw more stained glass stuff. I like it a lot. I kind of want to start mastering it a little bit more. Try more things, do more experiments. Because man, on the spots that I get right, it just feels fantastic. I love it. But I think that this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.